All right, welcome back to SK Hobbies AZ. And today we are covering the electronics portion of the Axial SCX10 tube builder's kit. So stay tuned. All right, so this is the last one in the build for the electronics. And, you know, it went together really easy. There was an issue with doing it the way that I did it. So I put everything together first and put the electronics in. I do recommend that if you're building this kit, don't do it that way. When it tells you in the directions to put the electronics in and you put that motor in, do it. It is not easy with the way this guy is set up to get this motor between the receiver box, the battery, and the transmission to get it slid in there, especially with it all wired up. It definitely was not easy. And you can see when I did it for the motor right there, it's I scratched the sticker on it, trying to get it into place. So if you do, I mean, it depends on where you get your Axial from. The builder's kit, if you get one that's already built, I recommend that the best way is to take the 4 screws out from underneath the transmission plate right here, pull it out, get the motor installed and put it back in. Don't do what I did. I tried to leave it in. I didn't want to remove those screws. Now do keep in mind that you're going into plastic underneath there. So the more times that you pull it in and out, you're risking the chance of that not, those screws not staying too properly, and you might have to replace your transmission case if you're swapping that motor out enough. But like my previous video, the electronics are the same. We've got the MKS servo right here. And the way we did the wiring on that one is right here. You can see I did the wire looming going right along the side of the servo between there and the shock tower, and then it ran right along the side here into the receiver box. The motor came right out of the motor and kind of connected right up there to keep it nice and tight to go into go to the ESC. And then of course I did the battery cable. And so it's all nice and compact there. Mounted the switch right here. The only thing I noticed on this is that it doesn't come with an antenna, antenna tube. I think that this is supposed to be a mount right there. But if you look right here on the side of the box, see if I can get it on camera. But you can see it right there mounted on the side of the electronics box right there is where I believe it's probably where the antenna is supposed to go. But it's just not, it's not in a good spot. It's right next to those wires on the motor. So I decided I'm just going to leave the antenna sticking out like this. On the Red Cat Gen 8s, it was kind of the same way, as they don't have an antenna tube on them. And so the wire just kind of sticks out the side of the box right there. It does have a mount for you to mount an antenna tube. It's just I never got one for it. So with that, let's go ahead and let's try this guy out. So like I said, I really like this battery tray and the way that it's designed. It gets that battery vertical right there. It gives you a spot for tucking in your balance port. And then you can kind of connect it up like that. Get our controller and turn that on. And by the way, we're using the same Ovonix battery, the 4500 3S. There we go. Response on the servo is the same as we had on the Element. It's really super. It's a great servo that I've seen so far. We'll see what it does when we get out on the trail. But, crawl-wise, but there you go. You can see it. It's super slow. It does seem like the Axial has a little bit more power on it. This one's running a 14 tooth pinion, and on the On the Element, we're running an 18 tooth pinion. So, but it's also because of that pitch in the spur gear that's in there. And this guy is a, I believe it's a smaller pinion gear than what's in the Element. And I will put up on the screen here what the size of that pinion gear is versus the Element's pinion gear. But even on the deck right there, super strong. It's going wherever I want it to go. Crawling. It does seem like I can get a little bit slower when it comes to crawling with the Enduro over this, but you know, slow is not always the best. I mean, sometimes you need that extra jump, and I believe this guy's got it. It's got some jump to it. You see what I mean? So it's got the power. The shocks with this battery, you know, I've got that 40 weight in it. It's setting pretty low in the front. So I might have to look at getting a little bit stiffer springs in the shocks. Now I did do that conversion and swap those shock springs around, but I think I might need to get a little bit stiffer. You know, we're running this as a trail truck. I'm not looking at super climbing up a you know, side of a rock with these guys. So I mean, it's got some flex in it. I mean, look at that. Getting some pretty good flex in it. But all in all, I can't wait to get both of these rigs out. You know, getting this guy out on the trail, getting the Enduro out on the trail, and putting them to the test and see how they perform, how they work. I can't wait for y'all to see the shells. We're getting those finished up, so that'll be in the next video. I'm going to debut both shells at the same time into one video, setting on top of the rigs and all ready to go. This one did come with a bumper. I don't have a rear bumper for it. So eventually I'll probably upgrade this, but I'm going to put the cost down in this guy and what this one, you know, cost to build. You know, the MKS Servo, same price. It was $99.99. The $43.99 for the ESC, which is that Hobbywing 1080 ESC. $19.99 for the Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster motor. Batteries, I have tons of batteries. We're using Krawler batteries. But I did no other upgrades to this guy. So that's pretty much the cost. I mean, besides the tires, I put the same tires and rims on it. So it's $38.99 for the rims and the aluminum rims. And you're looking at $32.99 a piece, or per set per se. $32.99 per set for the tires. So with that total cost, it came below the $600 build mark. So we're going to do some upgrades. And I also forgot to mention, and I did not mention this in my last video, and I apologize, but we did put in the Samex hexes in here. So they are those weighted brass 8mm thick hexes for the 12mm tires. So we got those put in there. So we did put a little bit of weight. Now whatever we added to the front, we added to the rear. So we got the aluminum or the brass hexes, both front and rear on both rigs. And that wasn't really that expensive either. I believe those were, you know what, I'm not even going to guess right now. I will put up that down here somewhere. Right there looks like a good spot to put it. We're going to put it right there on the cost of what it costs for those Samex hexes. All right, and that was the same for both of them. When I go back and edit that video, I will make sure that I put it into the screen about the Samex hexes that we put in here, so you guys see it, and you guys will see it in the spreadsheet that I put in the slide at the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, you know, like and subscribe and bash that bell. I'm Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ. I'm out.